Hello everyone, I hope you're having a fantastic day or a fantastic evening. So for our stitch along today, we're continuing to work on blanket stitch and we're going to be doing the long and short version of blanket stitch, and we're also going to be incorporating a scalloped edge, which you can either do with long and short, or I'm going to use similar sizes as I think my medium sized long and short. So what I've done, and you might want to do the same, is drawn myself a line first of all, and then a little scalloped section, and then an equal line. So you want your scalloped section, if you're going to use it this way, to be in the middle. And I actually just used a button to create the bottom bit of my scalloped section because I was trying to draw it by hand and it just kept on coming out a bit floopy. And then for my blanket stitches, I've started with a smaller dash, a medium-sized dash, and then a larger dash, and then back to a medium, back to a small. And then down through here, I think I'm just going to keep them a consistent height, probably the smaller one. I'll have to have a look how that looks. And then back to small, medium, high, medium, small. So it's kind of graduating up and down, then go through the scallop and then up and down. So I think in the scallop it won't matter that I don't do long and shorts, because if they're all different heights they'll still come out with that sort of scalloped effect. So we're going to start off, I've tied a knot in my piece of thread. We're going to come down just beyond where we want the first stitch to be. So we'll actually have that little lead-in point. So not where I've drawn my line. We're then going to go up to the top point of my short stitch. And there's the two different ways that you can either do it in the sort of stabbing way, where you come through each bit of the stitch as a separate movement, like I did there, or in the next one I'll show you the way where you do your continuous movement. So you take your needle in from the top, you angle it down to where you want it to pop out at the bottom, make sure the thread is underneath, and then you pull it through in a single movement. When it's in the hoop, I do actually find it easier to do the stabbing version of the technique where I pull it through and then pop it up, just because the loop makes it a bit harder to do that angling stitch. So I'm just going to do it this way. So you can see I've got a smaller, a medium, and then a taller one. So we'll create our next medium one. Again, popping through from the bottom, catching our loop. And then we're going to do our next small one. And so I just use my friction marker, which erases with heat, to mark it out so that I can erase it if any of it's left visible under where I've done the stitches. So now we have to see how this goes. So I'm going to pop into the top of that one there, then going to anchor it where I want my line to go down to. Sorry, the thread's just sitting up at a weird angle, but still the same as the normal blanket. You're just angling down to follow the line of your scallop when you come through. Just have to make the loop, pull my thread out, my needle out past the loop. In fact, I think our thread's getting a little bit floopy. I might just need to hold my needle upside down and let it spin around to take that sort of twisty tension out of it. That's my trick. Okay, and then I want to make this one equal to the one that's opposite it on the circle, or on the half circle. Looks like my thread's still trying to be a little bit twisty, but we'll get it to behave. There we go. And then up to this one that I want to be equal height of that one over there. And then popping out at the level of our line. Good-o. And then over to the next medium-sized loop. Oops, needle slipping back through the fabric. And don't worry if your thread gets a little bit twisty like this, you'll just need to just sort of position it as you do your bit. This thread I think is particularly prone to being twisty. I'll just give it another hanging around and give it a little shake. Shake it out. So you want this one to be equal, so that's probably drawn on a smidge high. So I'm just measuring it against the one opposite it. This is our tallest one in the design. Oops, and I've just caught a tiny thread from that one there. Let's just attach it. Okay, and then the next one, that's the medium size. So again, I think I got a tiny bit enthusiastic when I was drawing these ones on. Just match them up with the other stitches. And then our small one. Catching that loop. And so that is a super simple blanket stitch with a little scalloped loop, which they did suggest doing sort of a longer and shorter ones, but I quite like that effect. So yeah, you can just see it just gradually going up and down, and I guess you could do more pronounced ones if you wanted it to be more pronounced than that. So that's a nice short episode for tonight. I'll just tie that off on the back. I realised I didn't actually at the end of this one tell you to take the thread back to the back and tie it off there, so just take it slightly to the side of it and tie it off, but I'm sure you figured it out. I just got very excited about my twisty detached blanket stitch. Hope you had fun doing that stitch as well. I'm actually enjoying the various blanket stitch versions. I'm really excited about tomorrow's one, which is the blanket stitch looped, and we get to make something that looks like a rose. So I think that one will take a bit longer, so give you a short one today so you can save up some stitching time for tomorrow's episode. So there we go. That's the finished product in this slightly sheeny and slightly tricky to work with embroidery floss or crochet thread. And there's the full blanket stitch picture so far. So take care everyone, and I will speak to you soon with some more stitching adventures. Bye.